Welcome back to the All Things Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Junior. I'm here with former co-host, Jay Boogie. Everybody, welcome back, Jay Boogie. And we got Big Kev over here to my left side.
Yo.
How you doing? First time on the podcast. I'm
Yes,
glad
sir.
to have you.
Appreciate
And
it.
This is actually the first time you getting us on right. So shout out to you. Shout out to Rachel. I appreciate you guys
Yes,
more
sir.
than you probably think. But this week is the AFC East. We've done NFC West, NFC South. We got in the AFC South. Like, it's been fun. However, this division to me is like, okay, there's a lot going on in here. There's a clear winner to me, but at the same time, I think that the teams that are surrounding and fighting for the spot have a fair case. Not all of them. There's one team that fighting for third, like you just said. But, and that's what you'll be representing. You're a Jets fan, so shout out to you because that takes a lot as a human.
We're loyal
To endure such Knicks, Jets,
Knicks
and Giants, Mets and Yankees. That's how you do.
Heat fan.
You're right. I was trying to hard, but
Can't
so shout out to you as far as being a Heat fan. He's a fellow Heat fan. He's also a Dolphins fan. If you can't tell,
Yeah, no, I saw.
yeah, he wore that in your
It's
face.
terrible.
Y'all should have had like.
I
Fan
tried
hats
to keep
and
it
shit.
neutral. I try to keep it
I
neutral.
told you he doesn't play fair though. He has the one up because he's been here before, so you'll get used to things and you'll learn. So, Patriots. We're gonna start off with the Patriots, right? Last year they had an exciting season with the rookie Mac Jones, first time without Tom Brady in 20 years or whatever the case was, 19, 18. Bill Belichick still under the helm. They still had a Josh McDaniels who they lost, and Mac Jones took them to 10-7. Right, they got back in the playoffs, and Bill Belichick in his 22nd season, they started 2-4, and then they won the next 8 of 11. Right, so we saw flashes of defense stepping up when they had to. We saw flashes of Mac Jones, candidate for Rookie of the Year, right, and then there was like a reality check as well with that. And the first game of the season, if I'm not mistaken, was against the Dolphins. Tua beat Mac Jones in his rookie debut.
They got swept by the Dolphins.
So,
right?
Yeah, okay.
First time in I don't know how long.
There's things have changed. Is what I'm saying. Things have changed, and whether that's because they got Mac Jones or y'all have Tua, we'll see this year what that was about. Because you guys have a chance to sweep them this year with the more exciting team and talented roster, if you will.
We played them first game at home again.
Mm-hmm. Well, last year was in New England. Mm-hmm.
But this year yeah.
So, I mean, they had a embarrassing loss to end their season in Buffalo, 47-17. Which
You got to throw the ball in the playoffs.
And by the way, I just made eye contact with my co-producer over there, and I didn't shout him out. He's sitting back there. So shout out to him because he's always a big help. So, ending the season, like I said, to Buffalo, 47-17. Beating Buffalo the game before that they played, not literally week before, but they played in late in the season, and it was a rainy game, right? Mac Jones threw 3 pass attempts, and the Patriots ran for over 180 yards and beat the Bills and shunned them really because the Bills have 2 losses on their calendar that were like, we'll talk about the 9-6 loss versus Jacksonville for the Bills, but this Patriots loss during the regular season was another one that hurt them. But yeah, I mean, Mac Jones threw for 3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions with a 67 completion percentage. Not bad for a rookie, right?
Yeah.
Not too shabby. Almost throw for 4,000 yards.
Pretty accurate, which is what matters.
With their best wide receiver at the time, you can argue, N'Keal Harry, psych. But, Jacoby Myers over there, it wasn't a lot is what I'm saying. Philip Dorsett.
They bring in Devontae Parker this year.
So, how do you feel about that?
I've been wanting to let him go for a while.
You were definitely on that train, right?
Yeah, like the problem is the best ability is availability. We've seen that multiple times. And he just can't stay healthy. I don't think he ever played double-digit games. And, yeah, he has talent, and we see him go up and grab the ball at the high point. His high point catch is really great. He's actually pretty good right on that. But like I said, the problem is just can't stay healthy.
He didn't play a lot. That's true. And what's sad about it was you mentioned the talent, but him being a first-round pick out of Louisville, like we remember what he was doing there with that was right after Bridgewater left. Was that?
I think it was.
I think that was right after Bridgewater left. Well, we saw what he was doing and the talent that he had and the athleticism with the speed and the height. That combination of like that DK Metcalf could be before a DK Metcalf could have been Devontae Parker. But in Miami, sometimes your career doesn't pan out the way you'd hope it to. That's just kind of how things go. I hope that he can, find success in New England. He has a good quarterback. They have a good system around him. And the defense, right? The defense keeps the offense off the field more. And when you're the Dolphins and you have to, be on that field trying to score, you're going to get hurt. You see Will Fuller last year. You see Tua got hurt. You know what I mean? And your offensive line not as good as it could be, which you guys shaped out this year. But back to the Patriots, we'll talk about some key additions and losses. I mean, a big loss to their defense, J.C. Jackson, arguably the best corner last year, statistically.
And then they brought in Malcolm Butler, brought him back and just lost him to IR.
Yeah, I was going to say they just put him on the IR, which is crazy. Dante Hightower, Jamie Collins, both gone, right? And they're not, they're getting older. They're not the staple of the defense, but they're the ones that have been there. They're the ones that can lead the defense, and they know the defense to speak, to communicate with the young guys.
And that's big.
And I think that's really big. But they did re-sign a Trent Brown, which they needed for their offensive line, keep Mac Jones upright, and Jabril Peppers. And this one's interesting to me because with the defense as complex as a Bill Belichick's, using a player like Jabril, you have a Kyle Duggar, right? You drafted Kyle Duggar last year or 2 years ago, and he can play the deep safety, strong safety side, and you can bring Jabril as like a linebacker type safety, nickel corner. He just does everything. He's also a punt returner, kick returner. So just having him on the field healthy, making plays is a benefit for your defense. I think that's a good re-sign for them this offseason. And then, again, like the Devontae Parker thing for this side of the deal, it gives the Patriots more opportunity. There's last year N'Keal Harry 6'4", they drafted him. It didn't pan out. We haven't really seen much of him, at all. So I don't know. I think Devontae Parker can find success in New England, and I'm expecting him to try to help contribute them in winning this division or at least getting a wild card spot.
I think the biggest loss for the Patriots is Josh McDaniels, really. Now they've got I think Matt Patricia's back calling plays for him. So we'll see how that works for Mac Jones, but it's I think it's a big year for Mac Jones after the first year he had.
No, that's a very fair point, and we've seen great quarterbacks like Alex Smith struggle with having different offensive coordinators every year. So having a rookie year like that, and then now going into, we'll see what his offense is now. But yeah, that's gonna be tough. So I agree, that's definitely the biggest loss.
They got Matt Patricia and Joe Judge splitting play call duties for the preseason right now. So there's like a tryout. Who's going to call plays? And good thing for the Dolphins. I know I just keep jumping to the Dolphins, but you guys don't have to deal with that as much anymore with a Mike McDaniels coming in and calling plays. So I'm excited to talk about that in a second. But before we do, key matchups from this year, I wanted to go over the schedule, and I think it's the first 6 games. So this is what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to bring up their schedule right here.
Vegas has them at 8.5. Over/under.
Over.
I got them under.
So here's the big 6 right here. I put Pat 6. Pat schedule. So first weeks of the season, we got Dolphins, Steelers, Ravens, Packers, Lions, Browns. And obviously Deshaun Watson confirmed suspended 11 games. So, again, Dolphins, winnable game. Steelers, winnable game. Their quarterback situation's tricky. Yeah. Their defense is really good and can win them the game, but their quarterback situation's tricky. Ravens, Patriots, I mean, to me, I think the Ravens are the favorite. I think that, Lamar Jackson should outduel a Mac Jones every day of the week. But
if Lamar doesn't get his contract, he's gonna have a big year.
Lamar has to get his contract. Yeah. That's crazy that he hasn't done it yet or had it yet. But after Lamar, you get Aaron Rodgers on the road. That's a tough game, no matter which way you put it. However, their offense is struggling in training camp, and Aaron Rodgers called them out recently, saying wide receivers are dropping the ball, not running the right routes, and miscommunication. So, he's very big on precision and doing things perfectly. as opposed to just the right way. And if his chemistry is not there with losing his favorite target for the last 8-9 years, that's trouble. And then the Lions, you got Lions and Browns, and if you can't beat a Jacoby Brissett offense, if that's who they're gonna rock with as Browns, and then the Lions, I like them on Hard Knocks. I've been watching each episode. They fight, but at the same time, they're still a young team that they're not there yet all the way. And Jared Goff isn't gonna lead them to any type of postseason, or not in my opinion, but. I think that's a big 6 games to start the season, which my point was, and I think they have an opportunity to go 4-6 here.
Win 4 of 6.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Pittsburgh,
Dolphins, Pittsburgh.
Okay,
Lions,
you got them beating Miami.
Browns. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have them at 8 and 9 on the season.
Okay, talk about it. What do you think about that Colts Patriots game November 6th in
It's
New England?
It's in New England.
Yeah. What did you have there?
I think I gave that to the Patriots.
Okay. Did you see it last year? Because I watched it. You was here last year when we watched it. That was they played in week 9. I put Colts mopped them last season. They did. It was like 40. Listen, Mac Jones didn't show up.
Well, that's I went back and forth on that one, and I ended up leaning.
So I'm putting pressure. That's all.
No, it's fine. I ended up leaning. New England just because it's in New England.
In New England, that's crazy. Last year was in Indianapolis, and it was one of our primetime games. We're like the Heat of the NFL.
Disrespect.
They don't want to put us on TV. I get it. The last 4 years, we've had different quarterbacks, and there's been some. But 2018 when Andrew Luck came back, you know what I'm saying? Like, we really did some work. And in 2019 we had Phillip Rivers, so we actually went to the playoffs that year too, and. We know how that season ended, but yeah.
Matty Ice now.
Look how I just changed it to the Colts. Oh, man, I can't wait. All right, back to the damn Patriots. Finishing their season. They got a tough schedule. Like, I get why you're going 8 and 9 because you got the Bills twice. The Dolphins twice is going to be tough this year for them. Cardinals, Raiders, Bengals.
There's a stretch that's
Cardinals,
tough. They're both on the road.
Bengals.
There's a West Coast trip there Arizona.
Yeah, Cardinals and Vegas. Arizona, yep. Mm-hmm.
2 games in the desert, back to back.
They're both primetime games.
Yeah,
Monday Night Football and
Monday
Sunday
night. Football.
That's crazy.
I'll take 9 and 8.
9 and 8.
Yeah.
Okay. There's gonna be some games won by the defense for sure, but
yeah.
Because there's a lot of teams like a mirror matchup is probably gonna be Steelers, great defense, but they don't know their quarterback situation. I would give them the edge in that scenario. You got Packers, like you said, they're having problems. Aaron Rodgers is their X factor. Defense, we're gonna have to see. But or Cleveland, we know their quarterback situation. Yeah. But we also know their defense. So there's gonna be a lot of, I think, kind of mirror matchups, and like their defense being so solid, and that's just how they win games. And Bill Belichick still has proven that defense wins championships. So as long as you have,
we'll bring that up when the Bills come up. Okay.
The defense is gonna have to do what they did last year, I think, for them to have a good season.
The consistency is Belichick, so he plug in and play whoever he thinks is gonna fit his system.
They were second in points allowed on defense, 6th in points scored, with the 21st most offensive snaps in the league. So you scored the 6th most points, but you took the 21st most snaps. 20 other teams took more snaps than you. I think that obviously short field sets them up.
Yeah.
So defense is gonna have to do it again, or Mac Jones gets better. But
was that I'll drink to that about a Patriots statement? That was kind of on timing right there.
I know the Dolphins are coming up, so let me take my drink.
Okay. Before they are, we got breakout players. Who do you guys see as a breakout player maybe this year for the Patriots?
I think it really can be Devontae Parker. I agree with you.
That's a late bloomer.
Yeah, I really think. I think he can have. Because I think they're gonna get him right. I think they're gonna draw good plays for him. Like I said, he knows how to get the ball at the high point, and he's really good with using his body, kind of like in a basketball sort of way. So I think with that, and then Mac Jones has proven to be accurate.
Yeah, if they can run the ball.
Yeah, and I think that's also the key. So if they can take pressure, and that's one thing that with him playing Miami we've never had. Now, not saying that would have helped him. Obviously, stay healthy.
It does, though. I mean, in a sense, or to an extent, I should say.
So yeah, I guess to some extent. So with having,
He said, I guess to some extent.
I
feel you.
I mean,
I
like
feel
you
you,
said,
bro. I feel
sometimes
you.
playing in Miami, things just tend to happen.
All right. Well, you got any breakout players this year?
Talked about running the ball.
Mhm.
James White out.
Mhm.
I like Damian Harris.
He's
Put an
a-
emphasis on the
He's
run
a
game.
big back.
The only thing
Fast and
is that
strong.
Belichick is the weirdest coach with running backs in the league. So Damian Harris could score 4 touchdowns one week and not play a snap next week. So
But it's all in the name of
culture
and
championships.
success.
Yeah.
So you gotta have some balance, right? You want the breakout star, or you want the gold, or the silver, I should say. But Dolphins last year was up and down. It was down and up, I should say, because you started 1-7, won the next 7. Every game was close and competitive. You guys were looking like a playoff team. You had hopes, and it was truly there. Like, you felt it. All right, the Dolphins can make the playoffs this year. The Dolphins, hopefully, if they make the playoffs, I feel like we could win a playoff game. But it all crashed down toward the end of the season, and inconsistent play, no offensive line, and a lack of being able to run the ball as well. You know, it's frustrating as a Dolphins fan, I'd imagine, because this has been a long road. It's been, when you think you had, like, the Jets know they're not. They just know.
Whoa.
Going into the year, they just know.
What's going on here?
I'm trying them. But just going into the year, typically a Jets fan's like, bro, you go to Publix, you see a guy with a Jets jersey on, you be like, yo, you want to watch football? Yeah, fucking Jets, bro. It's like that. But for real, but the Dolphins always be like, yeah. Bro, this year I think, we got Culpepper.
We just have realistic expectations.
I mean, at the same time, it's a lighter room in their locker room than the Jets. You guys have had some bad seasons along the road. The Dolphins have had a few, but they've also competed in games. Like, let's be real. I understand.
I mean, we've competed in more playoff games, I would say, though.
You made it to the AFC Championship.
This is a hard argument, bro, because as bad as it is, I can't disagree, but at the same time, like, that was 12 years ago.
But exactly. But you see, that's when I'm reminded how quick time goes, because
bro, like,
I still think about that like it was last season.
That was like when I started high school. Like, I graduated high school a long time ago. Bro. That's crazy.
I actually went to the Pro Bowl that year. That it was
in Orlando.
No, it was down
in Miami.
Because
the worst football game I've ever seen in my life.
It was you guys versus them, and I remember I was like, if the Jets play a fucking Super Bowl in Miami, like, I was like, we're gonna riot. I was like, we're gonna riot. So
and we lost to them, bro. That shit's crazy.
No, that was the year you.
Yeah. But we did lose.
We came back next year for
you. Next year, bro. That shit.
Mark Sanchez, the only quarterback in NFL history to beat Peyton Manning and Tom Brady back-to-back weeks on the road in the postseason.
Yo, you know how bored watching Jets football gotta be to know? Boring that you gotta go look that up. You be like, yo,
you don't gotta look it up.
What are
it's just who else has done it?
What did we do?
I mean, in fairness, we bring up the 17-0 season like every year. So
yeah, they weren't even alive for that.
You just reminded me of that AFC Championship loss. Now it's just like we're back on screw the Jets. I was gonna come with respect, but it's just like that game.
All right, so we're talking about the Dolphins, right?
Yes. See, it's like, yo, Colts, Jets. All right. Last year, you finished the season at what? 8-9, I believe it was, or
no, we still managed to win with the running records. I think it was
9-8.
9-8. Okay.
Yeah, because I remember it was the first time in a long time we've had 2 back-to-back winning seasons.
Right. Which reminds me, back-to-back winning seasons in forever. Right. You got some consistency. You got a young rookie quarterback who's going to be there next year as well. You're excited. They fired their head coach though. And there was a whole saga about why they did, and the owner was trying to pay him to lose games on purpose, and there was some sneaky backdoor with meetings with Brady trying to be set up, and then the Sean Payton news. This was like a messy offseason for the Dolphins.
That's crazy.
Messy offseason for the Dolphins.
I can't stand our owner, bro. I wish they would take the team away from him.
All right, if Stephen Ross was watching this right now, what would you say to him?
Sell the team. You don't even live down here, bro. You don't even stay around here. You own 95% of the team.
We gotta get him to watch this shit.
You own 95% of the team because you have who else owns the team? Mark Anthony owns a piece. J-Lo owns a piece. I think the
Williams sisters, yeah.
Owns a piece. Like, come on, bro.
Get your shit off.
yo.
All right.
Gabagool.
Hey, Steven Ross. It's like the Suns. You remember when the Suns was going crazy on their owner and booing him at every home game and shit? But it's dirty work what he did, and I understand he wants success for the team. He's probably tired, and he's just looking at it from the realistic video game way of it. But it's just like, this is real life. We do have morals as people, and there is code. So it's like you kind of just fuck everything. And it's not a good look on the franchise, who hasn't even had success in a while. So it's just like, at the same time, this is one of your most exciting off seasons as far as acquisitions and getting talent for your quarterback and improving your team. Truly improved your team from top to bottom, and it's impressive. Head coach. And to say it's an improvement from head coach is not a discredit or disrespect to Brian Flores, because I think he did a great job and he came from a great situation in New England, but it's an offensive league. So, again, remind me, defense wins championships. Ask me about that when we talk about the Bills. It's an offensive league now, and you have to be able to run the ball. You have to be able to throw the ball. And I don't know why you drafted a lefty if that's the case, but since you did, Mike McDaniel is one of the better people for this job, because he has installed great run games. We've seen that in the past in San Francisco, and what he's been able to do with a Deebo Samuel. He's a young head coach who's connected to the game more so now than an old school guy. And when you have that young connection, like the quarterback and the coach, it's like you and your dad ain't friends, but y'all real cool, and it's just like, all right, bet. So you're not going to overstep anything, but you're going to have a real cool relationship that's open. I really just had a train of thought. I just really thought about some shit, so it got deep. But anyways, we'll go to the next thought. Y'all missed the playoffs is the biggest thing last season, right? And that was a frustrating part. Now, Tyreek Hill, I think that's the first thing you got to talk about. You guys traded. There was a lot. There was 2022 first round, 2022 third round. There was 2024 or 2023 first round, 2023 second round, I believe, and probably missing one other trade. But the big thing is now Tua has his true number one, who's proved it, who's got his deals, who re-signed a deal with you to become the highest wide receiver in the league, and he hasn't dealt with injuries, or he doesn't have that overlooking like, what about this? Like, I don't feel like that about Tyreek Hill. Do you?
No.
There's guys like, you find other guys that's like, yeah, but we don't know what we're going to get. You don't know. This is surefire.
The other big thing about the Dolphins trading for Tyreek Hill is that they kept him away from the Jets. So
that's true.
He special.
It was right there on the brink. And, I mean, you got to be realistic, too, if you're Tyreek Hill, right? Like, you'd love to live in New York and be rich and live in New York, but what else? Would there to be?
Look at the difference in the arm strength though between Tua and Zach Wilson.
Well, look at also the health and the concern that we'll get into for Zach Wilson is college days. Right. But we've been saying that. That's what we've been saying from back in the day, BYU.
We've been saying we'll be all right since Mark Sanchez.
But we've also said the same thing about Tua Tagovailoa. So this is make or break for him this year. The Dolphins went and got Chase Edmonds. You guys went and got. Again, Tyreek Hill. You do have a second year, Jalen Waddle. You signed Mike Gesicki, right? Or is his contract year coming up this year? You tagged him, yeah. So his contract year is coming up this year. It's a lot for them to play for, and then it's also a lot for it. Like the offense is set up for success on paper, and then you have players in there who are hungry and have to perform this year.
They brought Mostert in, Teron Armstead to shore up the line.
And to be honest, like as much as I love Tyreek Hill, being a Dolphins fan, I love when we get a solid offensive lineman.
You got to.
So when we got him, I was over the moon for that.
Yeah, they're the worst offensive line in the league last year. So
5 years, 87.5 mil.
Well, going according to Pro Football Focus.
No, I feel that though, and you could argue the Bengals though because that was bad, but I think the Dolphins.
That's fair.
Dolphins probably take that one.
Yeah.
That's fair. I can't even argue that.
Nah, yeah, we're not going to try to shun you about your offensive line. It's already bad. But, again, shoring it up right there. And then you guys also added Melvin Ingram, which was interesting to me because you have a tough defense already, right? You guys have a second-year Javon Holland, who I think is going to be one of those breakout players that we'll talk about this year. And Byron Jones and X. The X thing was weird last year, right? He kind of cried for a contract. They didn't give it to him. Then they gave it to him. And now he's happy. He played good. At least he's playing good and he's staying healthy. Talk to me about what you're expecting from this defense realistically this year. Is this a top 15 defense?
I think it's a top 10 defense. I think it's going to be different scheme-wise for sure because Brian Flores, I will give it to him. Like scheme-wise, defensively, he can call it defense. Right. And obviously, we're going to be more offensive-driven this year. So I'm a little worried as far as scheme, but as far as talent, man, I'm expecting us to still put pressure on the quarterback. We're still gonna have our blitz packages, and it's gonna be secondary. It's gonna be a lot of probably coverage sacks, but we got I'm expecting, and we'll get into it. I'm expecting the breakout player for us is gonna be Wilkins. I've been waiting for him for a year, and I think this is.
He needs to get paid too soon, so he got to step up. I'm excited to see Jerome Baker again. Being able to
I love Jerome Baker.
Have the leadership role in a bad team, and then like when the team gets good, and it's like the guy that's been there. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I feel about Jerome Baker. And another guy, Jalen Phillips, right? We get a second-year Jalen Phillips, and we saw a lot of good and positive things about Jalen Phillips last year. His athleticism and size alone is what you need at the DN position right now. So. And he's going against, guys like Armstead in practice. So when you got, fire on fire, it's good, man. And the D-backs have to be getting better with trying to stop Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. They got to be getting headaches every day at practice, trying to figure out, all right, this isn't Myles Gaskin and Salvin Ahmed. Not to, again, discredit, but this is Mostert, one of the fastest backs and players in the NFL ever, and Chase Edmond, who came off of good last year, and we're seeing explosive clips from him in training camp. So the defense has to be sharpening up even more. Wilkins, like you said, shit. If he doesn't get, because if you ask me, he don't deserve the contract yet, like the big bucks.
I agree.
But exactly. So key matchups this year. Again, it's a stretch thing for me. Like a lot of these games in this division, I looked at like it's some stretches that y'all gonna go on that's gonna be tough. But there's a favorable stretch for you guys, and that's kind of going to be able to shape out your, it's from 7 to 12, and that's the middle of the season. Before that, it's week 4, Thursday night football at Cincinnati. It's a tough game. That's probably your first tough test against, obviously, the Super Bowl, opponent and AFC. Yeah, exactly. AFC champions. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. We know the rest. We don't have to say it. So how can you guys be prepared for that and then have a situation like versus Pittsburgh, at Detroit, at Chicago, versus Cleveland? That's 4, and then you get a bye. And then it's come back versus Houston at home. So you have a stretch here from 7 to 12. Again, Pittsburgh, I just think is a beatable team because, if you can put up those points against that tough defense, you deserve to win the game. I don't think Kenny Pickett is going to have a breakout rookie year. He's not going to have a Mac Jones season, but he can throw for 3,400 yards and have some success.
And he's athletic too.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of running the ball.
And Mitchell Trubisky, if you ask me, is not going to have success, in Pittsburgh.
It's going to be interesting to watch them run an RPO option.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot with Pickett. And even if they start Trubisky to start the season, which they should because of the experience and he's, being able to run an offense before, not successfully, but you don't want to just throw Kenny Pickett out there to the Wolves, and having the hometown support being played in Pittsburgh, it's great and they'll love him, but it's not all that. You still got to be a good quarterback to have success in this league. So you play Pittsburgh, then you go at Detroit, at Chicago, 2 winnable games right there. NFC North bottom teams, young quarterback Fields with a horrible offensive line. You guys should take advantage of that game, and then you go Detroit, who just their defense isn't all there. And on offense, they're going to be exciting because of Jamal Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's coming off of a really good rookie year. But to me, that's a winnable game for you guys. Easy. And then you got Cleveland. Again, it confirmed. No Deshaun Watson. Because this was week 11. I think that's
week 11, yeah.
This was week 10. This was week 10. So it was like, right before he's going to get unsuspended. So, again, you playing a Jacoby Brissett offense if it stands right now, and that's kind of you know how that goes.
We're a little familiar with Jacoby.
Yeah.
There's a tough.
Well, playing him in New England.
I thought you meant him being in Indy.
No.
There's a tough stretch coming up though for them.
So real quick though, they do have the bye, which gives them good rest. Week 11, come back, fight for week 12 and on, and then they play Houston in week 12. So it's like that's another. Houston's going to be hungry. They're going to be not competitive, but they're going to be that chippy team that I think if Davis Mills, which we talked about, if Davis Mills could have a good year, because he has the talent, arm talent to do so.
And Houston believes in him.
Exactly, and they have to as well. So it's kind of like he has to start really. They have Tyrod Taylor's in New York, so yeah, he has to start over there. After that, you say they got a stretch.
Yeah,
okay,
it's a tough stretch coming up. I don't know exactly what the stretch looks like, but it's. I have them starting the season off well. Yeah, and then kind of reverse of what they did last year.
Okay, they're definitely not winning 7 games straight.
Just.
At all.
What was that stretch? How many games was that?
Last year?
No, just now.
Oh,
when they end with Houston.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 games? I think they went on 5 of those.
It's football, so I know that anything's possible at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But it's definitely a 5-game stretch that if you're gonna win 5 straight this year, 7 to 12. 7 to 12. So, and then week 15, 17, 18. Here we go. You feel me? I got you. So week 15, 17, and 18, it's at Buffalo, at New England, and then versus the Jets. And
there's games before that?
This is after. This is 12,
okay,
17, and 18. 15, 17, 18.
Okay. Who's week 16?
That's a good question. These were the next.
Oh, I got you. My bad.
No, you good. But at Buffalo, at New England, late in the season, weeks 15 and 17, I mean, those are your playoff games right there. Yeah. Honestly. And you're going to have to win one of them, whether it's a cold. You feel me? And then versus New York Jets down south here in the last game of the season, the Jets always trying to, take your head off because why not? And it's always a bunch of Jets fans in the crowd.
It's going to be a big game from Elijah Moore, too.
Ooh, coming back home. Okay. So, yeah, I think it's going to be tough for the Dolphins to make the playoffs. And truly, no, I don't believe the Dolphins make the playoffs this year, which is crazy because of their roster and their talent. But I think that their division is too tough. And the AFC is also, a little too tough for the Dolphins.
So after that Texans game, this is the stretch. You got at San Francisco, at the Chargers, at the Bills, come home Christmas Day for the Packers, at New England, and then back home for the Jets to end the season. So that's a tough stretch. Tough. I have them going. I have them going 10-7 though.
I ain't look at the schedule yet.
10-7. When me and him initially talked, I said 12-5, but I've calmed.
What did I tell you back? I forgot what I said, but I was like,
that's
what? He's like, I'm all in on Tua, bro. I'm like, yeah.
Oh no, I definitely am. Yeah, but I definitely 11-6.
You got to be. The team is.
I was gonna say everybody has to be.
11-6.
Hey, I mean, I feel you. I respect that because the talent on paper is there. It's not like you sound dumb for saying it, but it's the Dolphins. Like, if I could shrug my shoulders like high air, I'll keep shrugging them shits, but I can't. So, breakout players, right? My 2 breakout players is we spoke about him, Tua. It has to. There's no other answer. There's like when you call, it's like think of a situation when you're on hold for like 20 minutes and then you get hung up on or some shit, right? And it's just like you something has to go. You have a package waiting, and they were supposed to pick it up today. They ain't come. It's 4:00. They said they'll be there by 5. You know they're not gonna come. You call them back. They hang up on you again. You're like, no. Let me get to talk to a manager. We gotta fix this problem today, right? I need this package gone. There's no other situation but Tua having success this year. Because if not, you're going to look at the head coach again, this is your 14th head coach, by the way, as the Dolphins. This is going to be how many quarterbacks in the last 10 years? I could probably count on 2 hands. 3?
2 hands twice.
Yeah. Okay. So you got to start looking everywhere, right? And Mike McDaniel's going to be calling plays this year, right? And I don't think the defense is going to be the problem of this team or the question of this team. I think that the defense is solid, and they have been. The offense hasn't shown the promise that it's not like the promise that, we've expected for years, right? They have had a horrible offensive line, not that one running back that you could really rely on. But at the same time, the Dolphins never have a horrible roster. It's not like you look at the team and you're like, yeah, this is a 4-win, 5-win team. You can respectfully say, like, all right, well, I think we can compete. We can compete for the playoffs just because we can fight for that last wild card spot or whatever the case is. The Bills in some years past weren't the best team in the league, right? Josh Allen kind of just got good, or 2 years after he got drafted, he really kind of blew up. But the AFC East has always been the Patriots. It's always been the Petriots. So you guys remember when Sean McDermott was his first year coaching, and what was the quarterback that threw, 6 interceptions that game?
Oh, Peterman.
Yeah.
He sat Tyrod Taylor, who had them in a playoff spot
let's not forget,
for Nathan Peterman, who came in.
Bro, he threw
Vontae Davis retired
at halftime.
at halftime.
Shit like that happens in the AFC East. All while Brady's just winning the shit.
Usually happens to the Jets.
It does. No,
Except
it does.
last year, Antonio Brown ran off in the middle of the game.
That's funny.
In New York.
That's funny. Well, speaking of the Jets, head coach Greg LaFleur. Jesus.
Oof. Who are you?
Nah. There's a lot, and I'm not even gonna go with
Greg.
the first thought. And I'll remind me after. Cool?
Okay.
All right. There's a lot. Oh man, head coach Robert Salah. That's bad. Anyways, you guys got 4-13 season, 11 straight non-playoff season. You guys won 2 games in 2020, so you're +2, right? You're on the rise.
Getting better.
Coach Salah is doing his job, right?
I
Coming
love
in
it.
and doing better. That's what
Changing
you
the
gotta
culture.
do. Changing the culture. Zach Wilson, we're back, right? So at BYU,
In a few weeks.
shoulder injury. No, not he's
Okay.
back. I said
Oh,
we're
okay,
back,
we're
like,
back.
as far as conversation. And Zach Wilson being hurt and us
Okay.
being concerned for his future because this is serious now. First fucking playoff preseason game. He's not touching the playoffs. Preseason game. He gets hurt. First drive.
Non-contact.
Which is always the worst.
So he was sacked 44 times last season. Unfair.
Yeah.
However, Joe Burrow, as you said, had one of the worst offensive lines, and there he goes right there. And that game, by the way, Jamar Chase went crazy on EP's Chiefs. He had a rookie franchise record for the Bengals at like over 220 yards. It was
I
crazy.
think-
3
He
touchdowns.
had crazy
Yeah.
fantasy points.
Yeah,
And if
it
I'm
was
not
insane. I think
mistaken,
the most.
If I'm not mistaken, he fucked up my parlay that day too. So
R.I.P. to parlay. Parlay. Hey, one half of the parlay boys is here. Shout out to Nate Perk. He's not here. Yeah, so Zach Wilson gets hurt in a non-contact injury, meniscus stuff. Last year, goes down with a knee injury, missed 4 games, I think. And in college, he had some injury problems, had to have surgery. And there is cause for concern going forward because the Jets are not going to have a great offense. Like, you guys did reshape and revamp. You guys signed to Laken Tomlinson, but you lost Mekhi Becton. And
brought in Dwayne Brown,
who's... We're going to see.
37.
He's old as shit. Yeah,
38.
he's old as shit, but we'll see. Trent Williams is old as shit, still one of the best, if not the best, offensive tackles in the league. But this is the Jets. And why I say that is because Dwayne Brown signed with the Jets. Trent Williams is having success for Super Bowl contending teams. And I'm not trying to make it look as bad as it is, but it is because the future's bright in the sense that you have an Elijah Moore in the second year. You have a Michael Carter. You did reshape some of the offensive line. You have a Vera Tucker that you drafted who had a great rookie year, and I think he's going to be solid for you guys for the next 10 years. You do have Sauce Gardner, right, on defense.
Yeah, he actually drafted.
I like it. C.J. Mosley's coming back.
we're doing Carl
There's
Lawson will
that
be
thing
back.
where, like,
Jermaine Johnson drafted.
can I compare it to the Knicks?
No.
No. Okay, yeah.
I mean, I guess you can.
I did ask you. It was more of like a rhetorical, but yeah, my bad. So with the Knicks, shout out to Sean, by the way.
Facts.
And I don't hate me for this, but like,
Fellow Jets fan too.
yeah. See, that was the one I was talking about when I said Knicks and Jets.
No,
it's like, that's crazy. But anyways, there was a long period in the NBA where the Knicks had some embarrassing seasons.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like nowadays, if you talk like Knicks Twitter is so deep that if you say something about the Knicks, it's like, bro. And it's like, all right, I get it. All right, cool, whatever. Fight me. But at the end of the day, the NBA has had a long stretch of you've seen embarrassing moments from this franchise. And you didn't have the hope as a non-Knicks fan where, okay, we're going to the playoffs. Okay, we're going to see the turnaround. Okay, this is the year. If you're not a Knicks fan, you're like, no, it's irrelevancy, honestly. And what are you fighting for, like the last playoff spot to play the best team in the league versus LeBron? Like it doesn't line up. So why I say that is like the Jets have reminded me of them in that sense where you don't look at the Jets and as an outsider, because I'm not a Jets fan, and he's a Dolphins fan, so it's a little different. He's going to hate regardless. Can you agree with me that like every season for the Jets is just like, okay.
My dad's a Jets fan.
Yo, everybody knows the Jets.
dad.
Everybody's close to a Jets fan. So this year, I did mention the rookies, from last year. You guys got a few rookies this year. The class was way better last year than this year. But
I think they're both really good.
this year's is solid. Solid. I mean, we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see. I don't want to hate, but
Brees Hall.
you knew though your first 4 picks last year are hits.
Well, yeah. So last year, I just wanted Elijah Moore.
Right. Okay.
So
That's
I was
cool.
happy with
You
that.
was just happy.
Yeah.
Did you want Zach Wilson?
I don't. I mean, you take what you can get.
Was it the injury concern that
No.
had you? Oh, okay.
No, it's just the Jets drafting a quarterback is my concern when we draft a quarterback.
Because your team is not set up for success yet. So when you draft a quarterback and waste it,
Right.
Sam Darnold, I get. Like, he's not a number 2 overall pick in this league. He shouldn't be. You did it, but
Number 3.
3. That's why he was still there.
Well, he would have been number 2 if Gettleman picked up the phone.
Yeah, but
Elway was trying to trade for him.
Gettleman was. That's another one. But anyways, so Corey Davis is in his second year. I'm excited to see a second-year Corey Davis because at Tennessee he had the tools and the help around him to be good, but we didn't really get to see him grow comfortable in the role. Tannehill's not necessarily like gonna just be comfortable throwing the ball all the time. And a guy like Zach Wilson, who has an arm that's thirsty and he always wants to hit the guy, he always wants to make the good throw, and big target is easier to hit. A Corey Davis can find the success there, and having Elijah Moore up the middle all the time is going to create some space outside for them verticals.
Drafted Garrett Wilson, also number 10 overall.
Yeah. Thank you. That was the one that I was forgetting. But at the same time, like back to my argument as far as last year versus this year, I still think you're going to get more long-term out of last year. Garrett Wilson has a lot of promise. We've seen him. He's probably the best wide receiver, if not, last year at Ohio State. And he had that big bowl game, too, on New Year's.
They did basically everything, basically what the Dolphins did. They did everything they could to help out their young quarterback. They tried to trade for Tyreek Hill, and that was the biggest move. Well, I mean, they tried to trade for Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but
so the trade was accepted. It was just a matter of Tyreek Hill choosing where he wanted to go. So as far as like putting a line together, getting him receivers, getting him tight end, they got 3 tight ends this season. They got Uzama,
you got Uzama.
They got Conklin, and then they drafted Ruckert from Ohio State also.
I like that you guys re-signed Braxton Berrios.
I love Braxton Berrios.
I love that you guys signed Jordan Whitehead, and him coming from Tampa Bay, having a Super Bowl culture type guy in your defensive backfield to talk to a guy like Sauce Gardner. You guys got DJ Reed from Seattle, who we talked about Seattle last week, and their defense was bad the last 2 years. So how much can you kind of rely on him? Depth, he's a veteran. I respect it. But I think the big hit was Jordan Whitehead there in the safety position because you guys lost Marcus May, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, with that, I think Whitehead's an upgrade.
Yeah, 100%.
Then you got, I think the front 7 is, you got C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams. You signed Quan Alexander, which I think is something that speaks to the culture that Salah has brought in.
Mm-hmm.
Quan Alexander had other options. Dwayne Brown had other options.
That's true.
Both veterans, and they chose to sign with the Jets.
That's true.
So I think
much like a C.J. Mosley did last year.
Right. So brings 2 years ago. But he signed with Gase, so you can't.
Fair.
But yeah.
Now he got hurt, remember? So like he
Right.
can start with
Yeah. But yeah, C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams, Quinnen Williams.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Quinnen Williams, like Christian Wilkins. They should have that similar. This is your year to really show why you were such a high draft pick.
Yeah.
Because we saw what they did in college, right? It's not like, who are these guys? It's like, look at Leonard Williams, doing this thing too, getting a contract. So we have to see Quinnen Williams. I think that he hasn't lived up to exactly what he is or what he can be in the next 5 years. But this year and next year are going to kind of shape out, all right, is he going to be a, perennial starter for us, or is he just another guy in the rotation? What are we going to do with him? Is he going to ask for big money and we have to cut him, or, trade him, whatever, or let him walk?
It's weird with the Jets because that's the one position I feel like we always hit on is defensive tackle. Sheldon Richardson, and you go to Leonard Williams.
Yeah, Leonard Williams.
And then you get
you guys had them both.
Quinnen Williams. That's what I'm saying. We've hit on a bunch of them.
Trade him to the Giants.
And then we trade him away, yeah.
And then you got
but at the same time, it's like that guy's not going to change your franchise. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much he's not Aaron Donald can change your franchise at that position.
Right.
But a D tackle, you're going to pay him all that money and not be able to block. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's going to have to be another one of, there has to be one more year of, whether this offseason people really buy in because you guys go and win 7 games or, try to.
That's my number.
I hear you.
I got a 7 and 10.
I hear you, and that's a big number. It's a big number going from 2 to 4 to 7. But you guys have made all these acquisitions, and there is that change of culture that's kind of still evolving. So it's fair to say 7. And if you see 7, then it's like next year, it's like, all right, well, they got something going. That was 7. Now we can kind of come in and add, and that's how you build. But I think that if offensive linemen don't buy in next year, and you don't address them in the draft room, there's no chance. There's no chance. Next year, it has to be O-line priority on your free agent and on your
which I think they've made a priority the last 2 seasons with bringing in Becton and then and now Vera Tucker.
Drafting Becton.
And then Vera Tucker. Yeah. And then, they brought in Connor McGovern, play center.
We got to believe. You believe in Connor McGovern a lot here.
Not a lot, no.
Okay, he's saying.
I'm just saying they're bringing
Connor guy.
They're bringing guys in to
for sure. And
they're,
much like the
they're
Dolphins
investing into.
You guys got a Linden. What's his name? The guy from Notre Dame.
Oh, you talking about who we drafted? I think it's
Eichenberg, yeah, Eichenberg, not Lindenbaum. It's Eichenberg. But you guys are trying to address it. It doesn't always pan out. But you got to keep at it, though, because that's where the game is won and lost. And the skill players will come. You have, like you said, Garrett Wilson. You have Zach Wilson. You have Michael Carter.
Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Michael Carter is a nice, 3 skill position players. To grow together.
So you don't have to keep addressing those in free agency.
Exactly.
It's like, can you get the offensive lineman the ball and buy in? So, yeah. So key matchups. Key matchups for the Jets. You got my key matchups, E. I put N-A.
Joe Flacco revenge game week 1.
I put NA. Y'all don't have no key matchups.
Yeah, Joe Flacco revenge game week 1.
All right.
Against Baltimore.
So key matchups, not cool matchups.
No, that's a key matchup because that's how we start the season off strong with 1 win.
You're not listening, bro. Key matchups. You're not listening.
All right, we got
Let's take this.
Well, what's a key matchup for the Jets?
Exactly.
Now
he's
all right, here we go.
He's listening.
At Miami, last week of the season, Dolphins could be playing for a playoff spot. Jets could be playing spoilers.
Y'all are dog. No, he jumped straight to the last game.
First of all, no, he jumped straight to. We're gonna have such a fucked up season that's gonna be our biggest game to spoil the Dolphins from making the playoffs. Possibly. That's how bad it is. And I wanted you to realize that. So since you did, non-applicable. Because at the end of the day, if you go from 2 wins to 4 wins, the expectation is not playoffs. The expectation is not winning a playoff game. The expectation is not winning the division. And with as tough a schedule you guys have, what do we care? What do we care?
We got Thursday night. Week 16, Jacksonville Jaguars.
What day?
Prime time.
Didn't y'all play last year for the first?
I think we did play them last year.
It was it last year or the year before?
No, I think it was it Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson last year?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it was. And y'all was playing y'all hearts out, right?
That's how we.
Like,
It's every game, all gas, no brakes.
y'all boys was like, yo, y'all should be trying to lose this game here, fam. Y'all don't know
Oh
the situation.
no! Yes,
Yeah.
it was the year before Zach Wilson.
For Trevor Lawrence.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how Trevor Lawrence does this year.
All right, so let's talk about breakout players for the Jets. If I could start, I'm gonna just say Michael Carter and Sauce Gardner, because I'm all in on Gardner. I think that he is as much as he looks, you know what I'm saying, and I think he fits the cornerback position really well with his size, his speed, his strength. He was next to nobody in college football last year when you talk about lockdown, like island over there. Nobody wants to. You can't compare any other cornerback. And as what's interesting is that he has 3 good quarterbacks in his division and 2 that are liable to really give the ball up. Tua and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen is the really good one. Mac Jones is just there, you know. He's there. He's probably on a slow uprise, but I think he's nothing crazy, right? You're not gonna like, oh man, I'm staying up all night because Mac Jones, right?
Right.
But at the same time, Josh Allen's gonna be that guy. But he's also gonna give you, if you're playing disciplined football, Josh Allen will give you the mistakes. So Tua is a big question as well, obviously, and the success of lefties. So Gardner there, and then Michael Carter with the reshaping of the offensive line, the draft pick. Obviously, the loss on Mekhi Becton is it really hurts because that's the right side of your line, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, that run game is yeah. So that right side for the run game is gonna take a hurt, but I think Michael Carter is good enough. I seen him really torture with my own eyes. And
Michael Carter's got it.
I'm gonna give him my respect.
Yeah, Michael Carter's got it for sure. I think
who's breaking out
on the offensive side, Elijah Moore.
Oh yeah, you gotta go.
Especially if you look at what he did last year with Flacco. I think the first few games with Flacco, he might really have a big first few games. I think they played one full game and a series of a game before they played the full game, and he had 10 catches for like 166 and 2 touchdowns with Flacco as his quarterback. So
Flacco
will throw you open.
I gave him some flack, but he's a good quarterback. He's been a great quarterback in this league. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback in this league, and
he's a vet. He's a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, and that's why I'm excited for the Hall of Fame. Yeah, you don't think so?
No,
you don't think so?
No,
you don't think so?
No, the Ravens are notorious for having quarterbacks win Super Bowls and don't make the Hall of Fame.
That's fair.
Till Lamar does it.
That's fair. Lamar's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Lamar's a Hall of Famer.
Joe Flacco not in the Hall of Fame with all his playoff success and a Super Bowl? Based on the defense, I get it, but and a Super Bowl?
That's going to be tough.
Colin Kaepernick would have made the Hall of Fame.
If it does, it's not going to be right away.
Nah, he's definitely not a first ballot. I could retract if I go back and really, really digest, but like, damn, just me remembering Joe Flacco's career. Like, Joe Flacco's not a Hall of Famer. Did he not throw for how many fucking yards in his career and how many touchdowns in his career? I'm not saying y'all are wrong. I don't have stats in front of me. I'm just going off of what I watched. He looked like a Hall of Fame fucking quarterback throwing the ball a lot. Torrey Smith.
It's tough. I think it's going to be tough.
Do they still have Todd Heath back?
Who's that? Todd Heath. Nah, they had who was the gap between Mark Andrews and Todd Heath? Exactly. That's right? What I'm trying to had somebody though.
Oh, it wasn't it
Boyle? They had Nick Boyle, but before that even
Dickinson?
Damn. I don't know. Anyways,
well so Elijah Moore, I thought he was the best wide receiver in last year's draft. I think he would have went higher if they played more games because they didn't play as many games as everybody else because of COVID.
Best wide receiver in last year's draft. Can you give me?
Well, that was before the draft.
Because Jamar Chase was.
Jamar Chase obviously.
Oh, you said
before pre-draft. I had Elijah.
No, I think Jalen Waddle and Jamar Chase was by far the best.
I love Jaden Waddle before the draft also.
Yeah, Jamar Chase was by far, and you knew this because you wanted the Dolphins to draft him.
Oh, you know,
and you were like, bro. This guy's an NFL wide receiver.
But there's no way Elijah should have fell to the second round.
No. Well, in the sense that where he
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, but there were receivers that were taken before him.
Rightfully so.
No. Yeah, rightfully so.
I'm not talking about Waddle. I'm not talking about Devontae Smith.
What was the other? Devontae Smith.
I'm not talking.
Okay, who else?
I'm not talking about Chase.
Just named 4 wide receivers.
But I'm saying that in the mid-20s. I can't remember who it was. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair, but one wide receiver in the mid-20s. Who
like
was a rookie last year in the mid-20s? Oh, Amon-Ra St. Brown, was it for the
There you go.
Lions?
Yeah.
Bro, solid ass year last year, and if you ask me who could I have, Elijah Moore or Amon-Ra, like I'd be happy with either. I'm not saying like I'd prefer one, but I'd be happy with either.
I think Elijah's gonna be special.
He can be, but that's not to say that.
I'll take
drafted.
And I'll take a South Florida kid over anybody.
Of course.
And then on defense, I think Carl Lawson's gonna have a big comeback year.
Yeah, I wrote that down right here.
I like Carl Lawson to have a big year coming back. He's off the torn Achilles, so hopefully he still has some explosiveness.
That's the thing,
there,
though, bro. Like you tear that Achilles, and it's what you know. Marlon Mack, shout out to Marlon Mack. He tore his Achilles, and then we draft Jonathan Taylor. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Jeez. Thank you, God. But Marlon Mack goes to Houston. We're gonna have to see what he's gonna do because it's like.
It sounds like a movie.
Like ACL. Thank you, God. Jonathan
No.
Taylor. Bro, you ever watched Jonathan Taylor highlights as a movie, bro?
No, I'm saying Marlon Mack goes to Houston. Sounds like a movie title. Marlon Mack goes to Houston. Come on.
That sounds like a funny ass movie.
Or like a book or something.
Nah, a movie. You gotta keep it movie. That should be a funny ass. It's like Max Keebler's big movie type shit. Like, hell no. So, you got any breakout players for the Jets, Dolphins, man?
I agree with you on Quentin Williams. I think.
No, I said Sauce Gardner and Michael Carter. So.
Oh, okay. No, I mean.
Get your own.
No,
all right.
He's supposed to have a big year
all right,
in that aspect, like from the Christopher Wilkins aspect. Because I think Gardner can and will play well, but I think it also helps to have pressure coming from the front seven, and with having all these dynamic wide receivers in this division, you have Stephon Diggs, you have Jalen Waddle, you have Tyreek Hill. We'll see how Devontae Parker does, but you're gonna. So
you gotta get to that quarterback.
Yeah, you gotta get to the quarterback, and especially like quarterback like Josh Allen. Mac Jones had a great year last year. Obviously, the question mark's still on Tua. I think he's gonna have a great year, but Tua is another quarterback that you want to get to, and obviously he's been got to. So,
I think the most intriguing thing for the AFC East is gonna be like how can these quarterbacks stay protected? Not so much for the Bills; it's the clear front court winner, but it's like how is Mac Jones, how is Tua, and how is Zach Wilson gonna be able to stay upright? Because the defenses are coming. The defenses are competitive, right? They're meant to sack the quarterback. All teams in the AFC East have good pass rush. And 3 teams in the AFC East have questionable offensive lines. So that's a big point that you say right there. Let's talk about the Bills, though. They won the AFC East twice for the first time since 91. I'm hearing some feedback. I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's pissing me off. But anyway.
AC's on.
Nah, it's like cord type shit. But anyways, it's off now. Head coach Sean McDermott, right? They lost offensive coordinator Brian Dable to the Giants. He took the Giants coaching job. And I think Ken Dorsey stepped up in that role for OC. So that's going to be exciting because we've seen him as their quarterback's coach and working with Josh Allen and what he's become, in this league. And
yeah, it's probably going to feel like a glove, unfortunately.
What's crazy is that Josh Allen hasn't played his best football yet. And last year was a glimpse of what he can be. And to date, he's played his best football, but not to his ceiling, not to his career's end. You know what I mean? Because he's not a quarterback. You get scared. He always taking a big hit or, doing a lot. But he's also been a bit smarter the last few years, not just making these bonehead plays that he was known for. So 11-6. They won the wild card again, like I said, 47-17. They lost the divisional to the Chiefs for the second time. I think there was the AFC Championship in 2020 they lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
and then they lost to the Chiefs in the divisional last year, which was
the greatest
best football game ever
of all time, yeah.
Arguably.
Up there.
In the last 20
top 5.
Counting Super Bowls?
Yeah.
It's a football game.
Top 5.
That's what I
It's
think.
top
That's
5.
what we got into when you said that, and I was like, I think we've seen Super Bowls. That's probably a little.
I mean, Patriots, Falcons.
Patriots
is up there.
Falcons, Patriots, Seahawks.
Oh yeah, Patriots, Seahawks.
Patriots, Giants.
Patriots, Giants. Patriots had a lot of good ones.
Dolphins. Jets.
Jets, Patriots.
Cardinals and Pittsburgh.
Ooh, 2008. Yeah, that was a fire.
San
Antonio Holmes.
I've been doing that anyway. Listen, I've been doing that shit forever.
San Antonio Holmes.
Holmes.
But look,
had that crazy corner touchdown kid.
So okay, that could have been the best game ever, right? The Bills had the number 1 ranked defense. He asked me what was
defense wins championships.
I don't know, because they had the best defense last year, bro. And
The other team had Patrick Mahomes.
It don't matter. They had Josh Allen. Josh Allen just had his best game of his career to date. Gabriel Davis went and had 300 yards, 3 catches, 3 touchdowns.
And you still couldn't beat Pat Mahomes.
And it came down to the overtime thing, which I'm cool with. I don't know your stance on the overtime rule and how you feel if teams should get 2 possession or a possession each. I'm cool with the sudden death or not sudden death, but it's the field goal. You get a try. If you score a touchdown, you win.
I like the college overtime rules.
Sal, shout out to Sal. He likes that method.
Just give both teams a shot, even if you move the ball back to midfield. Right, move it to midfield and give both teams a shot until somebody can't score.
It's dead. Like after that game, like it just proved like your defense got to perform. Like that's why, and it's interesting with football. You got 22 players that contribute to win at any given time. You have 2 sides of the ball. So it's a whole team effort. So just like in overtime, yeah, your offense got to put points on the board to win, but defense got to come in clutch too and make stops. And that's what you get paid for, to make stops.
When you have the best defense,
overtime and 4 quarters.
That's the crazy part. You have the number 1 ranked defense, and again, defense wins championships is a saying, right? And clearly, the defense, like they cried for, we need a possession. Josh Allen should have touched the ball in overtime. But at the same time, it's how many times did Josh Allen touch the ball and he put y'all in position to win, and then your defense just goes and gives it up? You mentioned it's Patrick Mahomes. It is. But that's football. Like, what is there exemption for who you're playing against? You're the number 1 ranked defense. I would hope that you guys are the most suited to play this game versus this offense right now, which clearly they weren't.
Especially seeing how Cincinnati performed against them.
Yeah, I think now
Cincinnati's defense.
I think now it's
backs against the wall too.
It's a big year for them because it feels like they've gone all in now with bringing Von Miller in, Daquan Jones. And they've basically gone all in on. They brought Jamison Crowder, O.J. Howard. Yep. They're plugging in little holes.
It's Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah,
it has to be.
They're the Super Bowl favorites.
They gotta make the Super Bowl.
They're the Super Bowl favorites.
Lie. They gotta win the Super Bowl. Though. They gotta win. This roster here that they have right now is arguably number 1 in the NFL. Like, they can argue that they're power ranking number 1. You can say the Bills are the best team because now they've sharpened up a little bit more on defense. They have Super Bowl champion Von Miller on their team, and the second year Greg Rousseau is what I'm excited to see, because just like Jordan Phillips and having that length, played at UM, Gregory Rousseau at 6'5", 260. Fast as hell. We saw glimpses of him. We saw him get it was an interception or a strip sack on Mahomes, if I'm not mistaken. So very, very fun rookie year for him. They drafted Kyer Elam out of UF. I'll give him that. That was exciting. And James Cook out of Georgia, right? Yeah. I'm excited to see James Cook. So they know that Devin Singletary, as good as he is, is not consistent, and their run game is kind of non-existent. Like, Josh Allen's their best runner, and that's a very big problem if you're gonna have your quarterback as your starting running back. So, sharpening up there with Zach Moss in his second year, you got James Cook there. Bring some versatility as well, because Zach Moss can really put it through the hole. Pause. Jesus Christ.
Oof. Then we also see
on camera. Jeez. All right, we gonna cut. And then fucking the punter, the 86-yard punter. Matt I can't say it, but it's like
Arezia. Like 82 yards or something
or something like that. So they lost Jerry Hughes though on defense and John Feliciano on the offensive line. So those are two big players that contributed for the last 4 or 5 years or so over there. And you know, anytime you have to fill a gap with whether a younger guy or a new vet that hasn't been there, it's going to be a learning curve. You're going to notice it. So when you look at their schedule and their key matchups, I only have 3 key matchups. I mean, that's not only, but they're big games for me. I look at the opener versus the Rams, right? We're going to see the test. Like, this is the Super Bowl champs. Obviously, we've been off for the offseason, but hey, guess what? This is a 1-0 or an 0-1 on your record. And coming out having to play on the road against the team that, you know, get their rings. And it's not like the NBA, thankfully, where they do this whole ceremony before the game. But the Bills are up for a test. They're going to be up for a test right there.
It's a big game, especially considering everybody's going to remember the last time we saw them play.
Yeah.
That's all anybody's going to think of. And we're going to think of them, the Rams being Super Bowl champion the last time they played. And like we said, like you guys said, the Super Bowl or bust. I think they got to at least make the Super Bowl. You guys think they got to at least win it?
Yo, how many times have the Bills made the Super Bowl and not won it? At least 3-4 times, right?
4 times in a row.
You got to win the fucking Super Bowl, bro.
You can't get there no more.
5 times as a franchise? Hell no, bro. I'd rather not go. For real. I'd rather not be part of that 5th team that couldn't win. So, KC, week 6, on the road. We're going to see that matchup again and see where they're at, both teams, because this is already going to be 6 weeks in now. So you get the opener that could be the new opener. The opener was versus the defending champs on the road early in the season. We're going to see a developed team in week 6 versus KC. I don't care who wins the game. It's going to be a really good game, but I think that's a big one. And then at Cincinnati, week 17, right, to almost finish their season. And
what would have been the AFC Championship game if they could have get a stop?
This could really alter home field right here, right? Cincinnati and Buffalo.
If Cincinnati doesn't have that Super Bowl loser slump this year,
I don't think so.
Every team seems to always have the year
that talent there though is crazy.
I think that was just a glimpse.
It's crazy that they got there in their second year with the new quarterback
with Burrow,
but nonetheless, the offense spoke for itself, right? I mean, and Zach Taylor's been a really good coach since he's gotten there.
Yeah, I mean, Burrow's the real deal.
Yep. Y'all got breakout players for the Bills?
I think the offense is going to have to be the running back, which I think could be Zach Moss. That's the only thing really they're missing. Like you said, if you're having your quarterback, franchise, this top 5 quarterback be your run game, that's going to be a problem because they don't even have that in Baltimore. Like they
draft well in Baltimore.
Yeah, so they know that they have to have an established back there to help take pressure off of Lamar.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks that in Baltimore their running backs get hurt all the time, and that's what happens when you run the ball all game, every game. So it's good that they don't have that issue, but it's bad that they're using their quarterback because they don't have a run game established down there. But it's crazy that they can make the AFC Championship or divisional, get there with such a good record and, you know, having such a good defense and offense without any real run game. It's impressive. That just speaks to Josh Allen's promise in this league. Breakout players for me on offense is Gabriel Davis. I think that coming off of like the best game of your career last year and then losing, having a chance to go to the AFC Championship, you have to be like real motivated on some like how Stephon Diggs was watching the confetti shit, but which is stupid. But but like, yeah, I think Gabriel Davis sees that like, bro, I could do this. I literally did this against one of the better teams in the league at the biggest stage to date in my career, and the sky's the limit going into next year, right?
Yeah, I think Gabriel Davis has potential, just because he's playing on the other side of Stephon Diggs, who I think is, if not the best, he's one of the best receivers in the NFL.
He's top 4, probably top 4.
Diggs?
Yeah.
Who do you have in front of him?
You got Devontae Adams. You got Tyreek Hill. You got what's the guy from? Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And then, you know, you could
guess Cooper Kupp,
Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson.
I probably Cooper Kupp.
You could go Jamar Chase.
based off last season, I mean, you definitely could. But again, Stephon Diggs has been there.
Yeah,
been there. Done
I'd
that.
go
That's
Cup
true.
Diggs 1-2.
That's fair. Yeah.
Cup Diggs 1-2.
Yeah.
I like that, but I think it's the offensive scheme that gets Cup, the success.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he executes,
right,
and he's really good at it. So, damn, Robert Woods was a top receiver in this league too, and he's coming back. So that'll be exciting for the Rams. On defense, Gregory Rousseau. Again, you mentioned Gabriel Davis being on the opposite side of Stephon Diggs. They signed Von Miller, and they have. I wrote Ed Oliver as well because. Are you guys gonna pay him, right? And he's one of those guys, just that D tackle position. Like, y'all came in first round pick, supposed to be all big and bad, and we've seen glimpses of it. We've seen stretches in seasons and stretches during games where it's like, all right, this guy can really really ball, but consistently for a whole season. I mean, I haven't seen Christian Wilkins ball out all year, or Leonard Williams, or now Quinnen Williams, or this guy, right? So Ed Oliver. It's big time right now. Put up or shut up. Greg Rousseau has a second year on the other side now with Von Miller, right? You can't double him and Ed Oliver and Greg Rousseau. So somebody's going to get that free pass, and that one-on-one is going to be crucial with, again, a questionable offensive line in that division. So
I think on the defensive side of the ball, the breakup player is going to be Von Miller, bringing in that Super Bowl experience of having been to 2 Super Bowls. Like you said,
won 2 Super Bowls.
Won 2 Super Bowls. And he's shown that he still can produce in this league. His technique is bar none.
Mm-hmm.
He's built for the position, and getting one-on-one matchup. I still like him against a lot of linemen in this league on one-on-one matchups. So I think he's gonna help him out tremendously.
So you got the Jets going 7 wins?
7-10.
You got 9-6? No. Sorry, for the Dolphins.
Oh, I got 11-6.
He's like, we up there. We up there. All right.
He took a win off his original.
Yeah. He definitely retracted at least one step because it sounded kind of crazy. 12 wins, and then you look at the schedule, you're like, holy shit.
I didn't see the schedule.
All right. Reality check. Guess what? Jets ain't getting 7. No. Nah, that's the AFC East. I don't know if y'all got anything else, bro. I'm pretty AFC East out. It was as fun as I thought it would be, right?
Yeah.
So
good luck to your season.
7 wins for the Jets.
The best team win.
That's fair.
Take the over.
Yeah. So the playoffs, because we got a video of you with the playoffs. Y'all gonna make the playoffs. It's not gonna happen.
I was a little overzealous last year and said on camera that the Jets would make the playoffs.
The Jets are going to make the playoffs. The Jets are going to make the playoffs. Super Bowl may be a little outlandish. The New York Jets are going to make the NFL playoffs this year.
Fuck it. The Jets are going to make the playoffs.
Oh,
Fuck it. Let's do it.
All right. So I was gonna ask you if you had a shout out. I guess the Jets is your shout out. Nah, but if you got a shout out anything you got right now. Shout out to Rachel, by the way, for really putting in that work because we appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Rachel. Thank you for helping out. And just shout out to the Jets. Shout out to Coach Salah.
Justin, what's your shout out, bro?
Shout out to Coach Salah. All gas, no breaks. Shout out to Elijah Moore. Hey, yeah, shout out to you too. I appreciate you.
For sure. No, I appreciate you. You stupid. I appreciate you too as well. What's your shout outs, man?
Shout out everybody here.
Yeah.
Shout out the ATS Pod fam.
Appreciate
always.
you.
Shout out fellow Jets fan, Sean doing his thing. Shout out my boy XOR Art, tattoo artist, doing his thing all the time. Hit him up. And I'm going to shout out what I'm doing with Pop Link. Anybody who loves comic books, pop culture, we do all that. We're always producing content all the time. Whatever you need at your fingertips, everything can be found on IG, YouTube, TikTok, all that on the IG.
Pop Link.
And, we just trying to build a community, come together for what we love, man.
Yo, where could you find this camera work, man? We shout y'all out, bro.
So Rachel, who's behind the camera, you can find her at Created by Rachel V Rose, but it's Rachel V Rose without any syllable or no vowels, without any vowels. So
Sit back and think, bro.
yeah.
He's like, what's in this?
For sure. And what about you, bro?
You can find what I'm doing on Instagram. Also, 2191 is 20 spelled out, number
I
1.
figured that was you. That's
90 spelled out, number
Alright,
1.
alright.
So
Yeah, shout out to y'all, man. Go follow them. Camera work. They gonna get y'all right. Shout out to what I got. Shout out to New Era the label sports. We creating a new division over there, and we gonna take over on that side as well. Shout out to All Things Sports Podcast, of course. Shout out my co-producer, Small Town EP, and all of Small Town as well. 3 up, 3 down, as they say. And then I wanted to say RIP to Luke Knox. He passed away. He's Dawson Knox' brother from the Bills. He's a FIU football player, and he passed away today. So that was pretty unfortunate. So rest in peace there. And shout out to y'all for listening. So, yeah.